This is Walter Collins, a boy who mysteriously disappeared after his mother gave him money to go to the cinema. Walter's disappearance caught the attention of Los Angeles residents, to the point that the police faced negative publicity and public pressure regarding this case. Walter Collins, who was born on September 23, 1918 in Los Angeles. Her mother, Christine Ida Collins, works as a telephone operator who is married to a prisoner who is hiding his identity, named Walter J. Collins. For good parents, children are priceless treasures. This is also what Christine Collins felt, who had to feel sadness as a result of facing the fact that her son Walter Collins disappeared after being allowed to watch a film in the cinema. At that time, 9-year-old Walter intended to watch his favorite film and asked his mother for money. On March 10, 1928, Walter went to the Lincoln Heights Cinema. However, in the afternoon, Christine, who was waiting for Walter at home, didn't come home. Here, Christine still thinks positively, thinking that her child might be playing at a friend's house. But when night fell, Christine started to worry because Walter still hadn't come home, which in the end, Christine tried to look for and visit Walter's friends. But the search did not produce results because none of her friends had seen Walter that day. Christine was increasingly worried, especially at the same time in the area around Christine's house, which coincidentally, several months before Walter's disappearance, there was an incident of a sadistic psychopath who mutilated a 12-year-old child. Christine then reported this incident to the police station, and the police immediately carried out a search. They searched all over the city for days, but couldn't find them. The police have also put up missing person posters in every corner of the city, but Walter still hasn't been found. Until one day, the police received a report from someone who had seen Walter at a gas station north of town. The child sat behind the car seat with his body wrapped in newspaper. The witness also said that the person who took Walter was someone who looked like an Italian and was a woman. Here the police also received another report from a witness who also saw Walter at the same gas station. Based on the two reports received, the police then carried out an investigation around the gas station. But again, in this search, the police did not find any clues that could indicate Walter's whereabouts. However, the search continued for weeks, months, but with absolutely no results. Because this case did not find any clarity, the reputation of the police at that time was tarnished by a corruption scandal, which made it the target of the media and lost the trust of the public. Not only that, their failure to solve various cases, including the disappearance of Walter Collins, also caused them to receive strong criticism from various parties. In August 1928, after 5 months of Walter's case never finding a solution, surprisingly suddenly, a boy claiming to be Walter Collins came and surrendered himself to a police station in Illinois. The police then immediately informed Christine of this discovery. Christine, who heard the news, was happy, but when the police sent a photo of a child who claimed to be Walter Collins, Christine felt doubtful. However, the police persuaded Christine to try to meet the child first and took Christine to Los Angeles. Here, the police are seen taking advantage of the situation to improve their image by bringing Christine together with the child who claims to be Walter. However, something surprising happened again. When Christine met her child for the first time after being missing for 5 months, Christine said that the child was not my child. To be precise, he said, "I'm not sure this is my child." All the police who were there were confused by Christine's statement. How could Christine not recognize her own child? However, Christine emphasized that this child only resembled her child, but was not her child. The police also insisted that this child was Walter Collins, because according to them, they had carried out a series of proofs They carried out a series of proofs by telling Walter to remember the way home and via Walter's pet dog. The result was that the child remembered the way home, and the pet dog recognized the child as Walter. According to the officer who examined Walter, the child was a kidnapping victim who experienced slightly different health and mental health problems, and this change made Christine not recognize her child. And because the investigation was quite valid, Captain J.J. Jones, who was also responsible for Walter's case, then asked Christine to take the child home for a few weeks. Christine, who was hesitant, finally agreed to do so. However, after 3 weeks had passed, Christine became increasingly convinced that the child they had found was not hers. Christine returns to Captain Jones and insists on her claim that the boy is not Walter. Christine's confession was not only based on a mother's feelings, but Christine also brought dental records, which proved that the child was not Walter because the arrangement of his teeth was different. Apart from that, Christine also brought a statement from her entire family, admitting that the child was not Walter Collins. But instead of empathizing, Captain Jones did the unthinkable. Instead, he arrested Christine and committed her to the psychiatric ward of Los Angeles County Hospital on September 8, 1928, a psychiatric hospital under Code 12, a term used to imprison someone deemed difficult or a nuisance to the police force. The reason why Christine was detained is certainly surprising. Instead of asking her as a mother who lost her child, remember, if the child found isn't Walter, then the child is still out there. But instead, in order to protect the ego and good name of the police, Christine is considered crazy because she dares to claim that the child, what the police found, wasn't his child. While Christine was detained in a mental hospital, Captain Jones felt suspicious of the boy, who claimed to be Walter. Then he took the child to a psychiatrist and also involved a writing expert to analyze Walter's writing with the child. And the results were very different from Walter's. Not to mention, Captain Jones also checked the child's teeth and found results that were also different from Walter's. From the results of all the investigations, the child finally admitted that he was not Walter, but a child named Arthur Hutchins, Jr., who is 12 years old. He ran away from his home in Iowa because he was always treated unfairly by his stepmother and lived homeless on the side of the road. He deliberately disguised himself as Walter after hearing about the case and realizing that he had a resemblance to the missing child. The motif could be said to be quite plain, not for financial reasons, but he always wanted to go to Hollywood to meet his favorite actor. Not long after, the police received a report about a kidnapping carried out by a 21-year-old man named Gordon Stewart Northcott at his chicken farm in the Wineville area of California. It is known that Gordon not only kidnapped his victims, but he was also a pedophile and killed his victims using an axe. And according to reports, that one of Gordon's victims was Walter Collins. An inspection was carried out by the police at Gordon's chicken farm. There, the police found an axe covered in blood, bones, and hair scattered on the floor, which were known to belong to all of Gordon's victims. When the police started digging up the land in all areas of the farm, they found the bodies of 11 boys, all of whom had died. Gordon began to admit his actions by killing 5 boys, one of whom was Walter Collins. Gordon also admitted that his mother, Sarah Louise, helped him in his actions, who was also involved in the murders. From this discovery, the police were happy that in the end, Walter's case had found some light and had arrested the perpetrator. They were ready to close this case because everything had been revealed. However, suddenly, something surprising happened again, which came from Gordon's official confession letter, which changed the whole story about this case. In the letter, Gordon said that he only killed one Mexican boy named Alvin Garcia in February 1928. and added more. When the police carried out a deeper investigation of the crime scene, they did not find any bodies that resembled Walter Collins. In the end, the police couldn't prove that Gordon was Walter's killer. There was no physical evidence of Walter Collins' death. It was also reported that Christine was asked to meet Gordon, who would tell him what Walter's true fate was. But just a few hours before the execution, Gordon refused Christine's arrival. However, Christine still does not believe that her son was one of the murder victims in Wineville. For 36 years, Christine continued to search for Walter's whereabouts until December 8, 1964, Christine died, leaving a mystery as to where Walter Collins really was. It could be true that he was one of the victims of the Wineville chicken coop, or that he was not dead and was alive out there.